One of the most common requests I have in the shop is what crystals are the best crystals for protection, for protecting your energy, for protecting against negative influences outside. I've pulled together my favourites, so we're going to talk through those today. So if you're new here, hello, I'm Kim. I'm the owner of Feel Good Crystals. I'm currently sat in our shop in the Cotswolds, and the heavens have opened. It did this last time I filmed as well. And when it rains, it sounds a bit loud in here, so I apologise from the start. Let's just think a relaxing, rainy noise in the background. Sorry about that. So, like I said, I'm sat in the shop. I'll pop all of our details down below about us, where you can find us, our web details, Instagram, all of that stuff will be linked down below if you want further information about Feel Good Crystals. But for today, let's crack on and discuss crystals for protection and why you'd need them and how you can use them, and my favorites. So for me, there's a few different ways that I would use crystals for protection, and the main one for me is protecting my energy from other people's energies. So it's like when you walk into a room and you can feel the vibe, and if it's not a happy vibe, you kind of feel it. And crystals for protection will help to kind of keep that out so that you don't absorb it yourself, it doesn't attach to you, and you can kind of keep it separate from your own energy. So if you're gonna have an interaction with someone where you know it's that person every time, you're like, oh God, I've got to deal with so-and-so, and I know they're gonna be really negative, or they're gonna try and be negative, they're gonna try their best to get me. That is the good time to have your pockets loaded with your protection crystals. Now, it's not every time that you have that interaction that it is intentional. Some people are just naturally a bit low vibe, a bit negative, but that's their journey. That's, that's their thing to work through. It's not our job to do that, but we can interact with these people, the people in a lower mood at the time of interaction, and we can maintain our own energies. And these people could be anyone. It could be people you work with, people, that maybe in your family, or just that person that for whatever reason you have to have an interaction with, and it's going to be a bit So this is an example for me. If there's a certain person or group of people that I have to be around for whatever reason, I would first of all ground myself, do my bubble technique. I think I may have talked about that in another vlog, but maybe I'll do a separate video on that. So it's just a visual bubble of protection around me. And then I'd get my protection crystals, have them in my pocket and ready. And before I go in to the situation, I kind of connect with my protection crystal and imagine it as a part of my armor protecting my space. So another area where you might think, oh yeah, I need protection in that, is not necessarily a one-to-one interaction or interaction with a group of people, but just maybe society in general. Like you turn on the news, or the bus is late and someone moans about it, just the general kind of day-to-day doing things, and it pops up around you and there's nothing you can do about it unless you move to another country and block your ears and close your eyes and don't listen to anything. That can't happen. We're going to pick up things as we go. We're going to interact with people, and certain events are going to happen whether we like it or not. So there's an element, I guess, of not being mentally prepared. So you're not like, oh, I'm going to meet that person today, so I need to make sure I'm protected. It's kind of like a curveball of the day. So you can carry your crystals for that, so that you are protected on the go. So when that thing pops up, the unexpected thing, then you are prepared as well. So another area you may feel like you need protection in is electromagnetic stress, and like technology and toxins and all kind of things like that, which can be really tricky to avoid. So I'm going to talk about crystals for protection for that side of things as well. Also protection from your own mind, because let's face it, if your head is in the game, you kind of feel like you can protect yourself against most things. If you are mentally strong and you've protected your emotions and you're in control of that, and you can get rid and dispel your own negativity, it puts you on a stronger footing for everything else. So there's that element of protection as well. There's a lot of protection, guys. We've got to really protect ourselves. So I'm going to show you my favorites now. So I'm going to leave my favorite till last, okay, so you can see what the ultimate one for me is. I'm going to start with Smokey quartz, which is this one here. So Smokey quartz does range in colour actually, so this one's a bit more of a dark smoky. It can be really dark, or it can be really quite light with a kind of a tint of the brown colour. Smokey quartz is really grounding, feet on the ground, but then it's also got for me, more of a gentle protection vibe. So it's very much lower chakras, but also it helps a distracted mind as well. So if negative thinking is bringing in that negative energy, it will help to clear and dispel that. So for me, Smokey quartz is grounding and protective, but it's quite gentle and nurturing in a way, because it helps to clear the mind, it helps with confusion, and it just brings about a bit more clarity, which helps to dispel the negativity. So it helps to feel more balanced, stable, and, as I said before, grounded. So if you feel like maybe your own thoughts are bringing about negativity, it would help you to be like, no, let's just stay grounded, let's really think about this, think things through, and that kind of like dispels the negative energies. All the ones I'm going to show today, I think Smokey quartz is the most kind of gentle for me, definitely, and what I would recommend to customers anyway. But the buzzwords for Smokey quartz would be grounding, protection, clarity. So I guess the word I'm looking for is supportive. It's like supportive, stabilizing. So it's kind of nurturing in that respect. It's not a heart chakra stone, but it is supportive, which helps, kind of like holding your hand. Like, right, let's think about this. Let's work this through. Let's protect against those negative thoughts. Next up is one of the strong, punchy, hard-hitting ones, and that is Obsidian. This is really strong, protective, and creates that bubble around you. So it's going to dispel the negativity, absorb that, and kind of get rid of it. It absorbs the negativity in the area, but also, as I said, deflects it away from you, so you don't absorb it yourself. It does the absorbing for you. So this would be a really good one for if you're going into a situation and you know there's going to be that negativity. You're like, I'm going to put this in my pocket as a sponge. It's going to soak all of that up, and I'm not going to soak all of that up. But also to have a piece in your pocket for those unexpected times as well, because it will, as I said, absorb the negativity that you encounter. But I do have to say that it also clears away your own negativity, and maybe negativity that you've held on to from the past. So if you need to clear and work through certain things to get rid of that negative energy block, Obsidian is the one. So for example, if I'm trying to release something from the past that's kind of like holding me back and keeping me in that negative state, I would work with Obsidian to clear it through. If you need a good cry, for example, and to get something out of your system, get that lower energy out, then Obsidian is the one. It's going to almost force you into working through it and getting it out, because it's quite a strong cleanser. It's like, let's get rid of this, let's dispel this, get it out. It's also good for protection against psychic attack. I know I don't want to sound a bit weird saying that, but from other kind of like mental energies from other people. It's a really strong shield, essentially. The shield to protect, deflect, and absorb as well. So it absorbs all of that energy that you might come across. Again, very grounding, feet on the ground, let's work this through. But I think it's a really good one to use when you need to do really good clear of negative energies, and when you're going to have those interactions where you want that bubble of protection around you. Next up is Shungite. So Shungite here. So Shungite is actually a very cleansing stone. Some people use it in water, so they put it in their drinks in water to cleanse and purify the water. So it really cleanses your aura, cleanses energies around you, it purifies, but it's also really good for electromagnetic stress as well. So if you're by your computer all day, or if you're on your phone all day, or maybe where you spend most of your time, you have maybe a TV that's on all the time, or bedtime, if you have some devices that are next to you, you have a phone charger, you have your alarm clock, you have all those kind of things, and you want to kind of deflect the electromagnetic stress that's around you, Shungite really helps with that. So it's protective in terms of cleansing and keeping out those kind of lower energies, but it does that by purifying, like purifying the air, purifying the aura, purifying the energies. So Shungite would be really good to have next to your computer. So if you sat at your computer all day, it would be ideal to have a piece next to your screen or by the side of your bed if you do have devices by your bed, just to give you that extra bit of protection, because we don't really know how much of that energy we're picking up, the electrical energies, you know, how much do we actually take that on? So it's a good way to help protect ourselves against those energies. Next up, pyrite. Pyrite to me is very much a shield, like a shield of protection and strength. So if you're going to go to war, you're going to put your armor on, it's going to be strong and you're protected. That's the kind of vibe that I get from pyrite. So if you think strength, vitality, confidence, and that giving you protection, like protective shield of like, I'm going into this situation and I am strong, I have my shield on, it deflects the energies of other people, other situations. It's also linked to the mind, the brain. So negative self-talk, if that kind of stays within your energy field and kind of brings you down a bit, it will help to protect against that as well. But overall, I think it's really uplifting, energizing, and a strong shield against the outside forces, but also your own mind too. So the last one, and my favorite one, and the one that I personally reach for, is black tourmaline. I love black tourmaline. Out of all of them, yeah, this is definitely the one that I would go to. So I would carry this when I feel like I'm going to have those interactions, or just as a daily stone, because like I said before, we don't know what we're going to encounter, and it helps to deflect and cleanse those lower negative energies. This is what I resonate more with. So comparing it to, say, Obsidian, that's really cleansing and purifying in terms of, let's get these emotions out, let's get these negative energies out, let's work through it. But for me, the black tourmaline is more about, let's just protect you right now. Yes, we're going to cleanse and deflect, but it's not quite as deep emotionally. So that's why I tend to reach more for this, because for me, it's much more of a everyday protection stone. I like to put this by the front door, because as people come into my space or into my house, then any kind of lower vibrations or energies will be absorbed by the black tourmaline, and it kind of deflects that away as well. So there's my suggestions for crystals for protection. I hope you found that helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. It's absolutely free for you to subscribe to this channel. It just helps us out and shows that you're liking the content, and I'd love to create more content. So if you could hit the subscribe button, like it, tell your friends, get everyone involved. It's crystals, yay! I'll also put all of our details down below of the shop, the location, our Instagram, Facebook, all of that information will be linked down below if you want to check us out. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.